without the proper staff, there's just no way to then secure the full-on loyalty experience for the customer as well. So, I mean, it really starts here with the staff.
Right. It always starts with the staff. I mean, that's right. That's definitely a true risk of having a guest for life, or having the guests look at other properties, other hotels to look at, when it comes to poor customer service. So the loss of the customer, following the experience also means, it's a loss of the periodic return of the customer. And, the customer's lifetime experience with you is cut off at that point. So hotels really can be damaged, and the chance for one more customer to be recommended to your hotel is lost at that point.
I had on the show once a customer service expert, and she wasn't necessarily geared just towards hotels, just customer service in general. And the stats are amazing. When you have just that one bad experience, the risks that can happen from.
Sure. I mean, there's studies. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that with a hotel, it's such an experiential business. I mean, it is. It's all about the experience and the memories. It's a little different than just going into Costco and having a negative experience. It's going into a hotel with your family or your friends and trying to create a lasting experience, or an important business event, something like that. And then if something goes wrong with that, the risks are very large and very difficult to recover from, I would imagine.
It can be. I mean, there's studies and statistics on this, but obviously you're going to tell multiple amount of people if you had a bad experience. But when you have a great experience, not too many people, there's studies showing that you will tell. Now, obviously with hotels, always living and dying by a customer survey or the guest experience platform that they use, hotels to this day still utilize that for performance and for training. And now there's new techniques of having video chats with the customer in the surveys. So there's so many ways that you're getting this feedback from a customer or a guest to really have a really great experience.
That's a good point. So are you saying, and in your opinion, do you think that if a guest has a poor experience, after the fact, is it possible to lure them back?
It is, depending on the situation and how far it escalated throughout their experience. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you were in a hotel and you had a bad experience? How was that handled? What were the steps that the front desk took or anyone took in the hotel to rectify that? So, I think it really starts to recognizing, hopefully before an experience goes bad, that you're correcting it. And if you do make a mistake, just be honest, just be honest and be transparent with the guest, because I think a lot of times the worst thing I see as a leader that I've seen at some hotels I've worked at is that it was always given to managers to correct the issue. But I would always tell the teams that work with me, especially at the front desk or even in housekeeping, is that they had more power than they knew. And if they just utilized it and made decisions based on the coaching and training that we've always given them or can give them, it's amazing how you can, at first contact, correct situations and then make the guest happy. I mean, you really don't want a guest walking away that's unhappy and leaving. It's like if you're a guest in my home, I'm not going to wait until you ring the doorbell to know, what do you want for dinner? How do you want is the bedding right? Right? You're going to find all that out. And this is a little, like some secret sauces that I know hotels or resorts have done for many years. And some are just learning how to do that. And they want to learn, well, how do I do that? And obviously utilizing the tools that you either have or find a company that's going to partner with you to help you drive that experience, because it's an emotional connection that you have with the guest. And you can never, it's hard for me to do it, or I can imagine it's hard for anyone to do it in like 1 minute have a relationship with a guest. There are guests, depending on if they're there for travel or for leisure, they just, if they're there for business, they probably just want to get checked in quickly and move on. If you're there for leisure travel and they want to explore, usually those type of guests they're going to ask more questions. They're going to want to know what else is there to do on the property. What great restaurants. I mean, like when I travel, I do the same thing. Or if you're traveling, you may do the same thing. Ask a lot more questions than a business traveler. So it's important to really empower your employees, give them the tools and resources they need to set them up for success. Because if you don't set them up for success, you're setting them up to fail. And again, there goes the relationship you have with your associates and the company they're working for.